Yesterday we have done how to work with the ORM, right? So we started with what is ORM is in the previous class, day before yesterday. But yesterday we have seen how to create a model and how to configure which one database. So you configure the database in settings.py. Have you done this, right? Completed, huh? But port number change it, 3306. 3306. Arpita, 3306. Change it, huh? How you are given settings? Just copy the settings. In settings.py, what you have done, just copy this. No, no, no. What I meant to tell you is, are you created this database? Database is created. Username is correct. You first check was working or not by opening MySQL. Open the MySQL command line first and verify is it working MySQL or not. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you again. Okay. So this is how you define the database settings and you develop a model. What does model represent? Table. What model represent? Table within the database. Okay. And this is a table. You can say this is table in what? Database. And then I said, once you develop a model, what do you have to do? Migrations. So I said, migration is a process of converting your model into which one? Tables. Okay. For that, you have to follow how many steps? Two steps. One is make migrations and one more is migrate. Yesterday, some students, they got a doubt. What is the difference here? Again, I said make migrations is nothing but creating database schema. Schema is nothing but what? Structure. पहले structure create करना बाद में migrate करना. First it will create a structure and then migrate. So when you say make migrations, will it do anything on database? No. When you say make migrations, it will not do anything on database. What will it do? It will read the model and create a structure. Means schema it will create. One module it will create. And using that migration file, which one is done? Migration is done. So when you say migrate, which one is migrated? Model is migrated. Means it will create a model. Means model is nothing but table. It will create a table within what? Database. When you type the command, migrate. जब तक migrate नहीं बोलते, then table is created. No. But how many times you do these migrations? Only one time. You don't do the migrations every time. You do the migrations how many times? Only one time. Correct or not? Okay, because how many times you develop the models? Only one time. Okay, I'll show you here. Make migrations command, create a migration file. And this migration file is created by reading models information exist in what? Models.py. And make migration create a database schema is nothing but structure. Make migration doesn't do anything on database. So this is the first command which I have to run after creating a models. And this database schema module or file is created inside which folder? Application folder. And database schema is useful to maintain the different versions of models. It means whenever you do changes, that changes are applied. How can you do that? How can you find out that changes within which file? Migration file. Okay. So I said, how can you create or how you do the migrations? Python manage.py. You are saying make migrations. So there is my one migration file is created. But whenever you add any field, whenever you remove a field, whenever you update the field, you have to do what? Migrations. After migrations, how you apply on the database? Migrate. That's all. Migrate. This command apply changes to what? Database. Telling on. So it means you are moving, you are applying changes from your application into database. Okay, that is done by using which one? Migrate. So this command apply changes to the database, and migrate command uses migration file and execute the changes on database. Means without make migrations, can you do migrate? No. You cannot do migrate without doing what? Make migrations. This command connects to the database and create what? Tables. For each model, it generates one table. And I said Python manage.py migrate. Now you can see in the backend, and I added one more model. And after that, again, I did what? Make migrations, right? So for every change, you have to do make migrations and what? Migrate. Migrate. See here, one model is created, and this model is applied on what? Database by using which one? Migrate. Okay. Yes, that is what we have seen. Just started here, not I just explained yesterday's class. Okay, what is the difference between migrations and what? Make migrations and migrate? The primary purpose is to record changes made on models, to apply record changes to the database. And output is .py migration file, but output is where? Update the database. Okay, update the database. Tables are what is that? Schema. Database impact is none, but here it will do changes in what? Database. Workflow order is prepare the changes and execute the changes. So how to change the database table name? You can change the database table name by creating one class, one inner class. And what is that class is? Meta class. And in this you are creating one field. What is the name of that field? DB underscore table. And generally model is created. Table is created with what name? Model name. Model name prefix with application name. But if you want to do changes, then you have to give what name? DB table. Okay. Then we'll see how to perform CRUD operations. Before that, again, I'll tell you how to we'll create one project and then we'll do which operations? CRUD operations. Okay. Right. First, we'll learn how all the commands, all the methods, and then we'll use that methods in the project. First, we'll do all the methods and we'll implement that as a part of your Django project. Okay, right? Yes. Okay, right. So let me tell you, open VS Code, just follow this. Again, I'm telling you, please try to see this. Okay. Because every project required a persistency. Every project required to store the data permanently. Generally, where you store the data permanently, database. You can store the data permanently inside the file. You can store the data permanently within the database. But database can hold a large amount of data. But file cannot hold what large amount of data. And whatever data you store in the database is secure. But the data what you store in the file is not secured, right? So you can use two systems. One is database system and one more is what? File system. But here we are using what? Database system because database is application independent. Okay, right? So let me show you again. What is the first step? Tell me here. First step is what? Create what? Project first. Create a project. I'm telling you all the things. Just if you are in front of system, just do it. Who's this? Arbida. Okay. Follow the same thing. So create a project and where you want to create the project, just open the location and don't try to install multiple versions in your system because if you install multiple versions, even you don't know to which version the path is set, Python version, then again you may get what errors, getting or not. So try to install only one version. Okay, okay. Don't install multiple versions. Now create a project. How you create a project? Django admin, start a project, project name. Just give the project name and 10, 9. So dummy projects only we done 10. Uh, so open the project here. And next thing is you have to create the application. Python manage.py start application, any application name. So what is my application name is application 1. So create the project and create the application. Okay. Open it. Open the folder. So open the folder. Now this is your project. Open the folder. Very easy. You don't get any errors. Okay. You know why you are getting errors is very easy. Now once it is done, open the application and in application you have what? Models.py. Models.py and create a model. Writing a model is nothing but creating a table where you need to create a table in the database. Means how you communicate with the table using model. Correct or not? Are you using directly table or using a class? Using a class. Suppose if you want to insert data, you will say insert into table name. But here I'm not using which statements? SQL statements. I'm not using which statement? SQL statements. Everything is done using what? Classes and objects. Everything is done using classes and objects. Getting or not? Okay. So what is my class is? Model class. Define the class name. What is the class is? Student. Anything you can give. Which table you want to create, just give the name of the model. Okay. So what data you want to store it? Now models dot, what is the class name? Model. Okay. So every model class is inherited from which class? Model class. So student is a model. All the methods are inherited from which class? Model. Now you want to insert. Who will provide insert method is model. You want to update. Who's providing update method is model. You want to delete. Who's providing delete method is model. Ring or not. So all the methods are inherited from which class? Model class. So Django framework is provided rules, abstracts, how to develop a model. But how you are developing a model by inheriting which class? Model class. Okay. Now what it is having, roll number is there and roll number is which type of integer field. I'm using integer field and I just use this as a primary key and primary key equal to what here? True. Then second one is a name, student name, models dot character field, define the maximum length. So define the maximum length. So what is the size of this name is 20. And the next one is a course. And here I'm writing models dot character field. And again I define the maximum length, some 30, like this. Yes. and again create. Now what is this here? Fees and models dot float field. Okay. So it means my model is having how many fields here? Four fields. That is a roll number, name, course, and one more is a fees. Okay, right? So after creating a model, define your database configuration. Go to settings.py and first you install the application and define the database. Define the database. What is your database is? MySQL. What is your database name is? Yesterday we created database, right? Database, database what? 9 a.m. Then user, capital only. What is my database username is? Root. What is your database password? My system is root again. Where your database is running in localhost. If it is localhost, you can give localhost or you can give IP address 147.0.0.1. It is there in some other system, give that. Now next is a port number. What is the default port number? 3306. So which database you are using, you should configure. Okay, which database you are using? MySQL. And where you are, which database you are using in MySQL? Database 9a. And what is the database username and password is root and root. And then host is a local host and port number is 3306. Done this. Install the application and configure the database. Next is what? Migrations. Go to the terminal and say Python manage.py make migration. What when you say make migration, what it will do? It will create a database schema. It will create a database schema file in what? Migrations folder. It create in which folder? Migrations folder, right? So make migrations, manage migrations. Okay. Password root was not working in my system. Not working means in your system, what is password? You give that. In my system, my password is root here. In your system, whatever password is there, you take that. अरे आपका लॉगिन आपका पासवर्ड रहता है यार मेरा पासवर्ड थोड़ी रहता है okay, right. So manage.py make migrations. You can say created model. What is the name of the model is? Student. Okay, then migrate it. So when you say make migration, table is created. Well, a table will be created or not created? Not created. Until unless open MySQL command line, see here, use, what is your database? Database 9 a.m. Show tables. But application one table already there. We'll drop it. Yesterday we created, right? So how can you delete table? Drop table or we'll do one thing. This is database 9 a.m., right? We'll create another database. By again this. Create database 10. What is my database name is? Database 10. Okay. So use database 10. Why confusion again? Now show tables. Any tables are there here? No. Now give my database name. Tell me what is my database name? Database 10. Just now I created, right? Okay. So, but again you have to do migrations. So Python manage.py make migrations because, but you have not done changes in model. You don't require. If you want, you do it, no problem. But it will give no changes deducted. So when migration file is created, when you do changes in model, but this is database settings, right? So migration file is created when you do changes in the model. But have you done any changes in model? No. Okay. Then after this, migrate. Migrate it. So migrate python manage.py migrate. So it will try to migrate using migration files. So migrate is a process of applying the changes toward database. Database. Now come to this database and say show tables. Now you can see there is one table created. Yes. What is the name of the table? Application one underscore student. Getting on not. So until unless you don't say migrate, your database changes will not be applied. Okay. So describe here. What is the name of the table? Application one underscore student. So by default, the table is created with what name? Model name, prefix with what name? Application name. And this table is belongs to which one? Application one. This table is belongs to which application? Authentication. This table is belongs to which application? Authentication. This table is belongs to which application? Authentication. By default, your project is installed with so many applications. See here. All these are installed applications. Admin, authentication, content type, sessions, messages, and what? Static files. Is it doing migrations for all the applications or not? Yes. But you don't want all the applications. You want to migrate only one application. You want to migrate only one application. Can I give application name? Can I give application name migrate? I'll say application one. Okay, because I do changes only in one application, right? Why you want to do again migrations for all? I'll just say Python manage.py migrate application one. But it's saying that apply all migrations, application one, but no migrations to what? Apply. Because are you do any changes? No. So can you migrate a specific application? Yes. How can you migrate a specific application by saying Python manage.py migrate? What is the name of the application? Application 1 means you are doing changes. The changes of application 1 is applied to what? Database. Okay, the changes done in application 1 is applied to what? Database. Okay, so migrate is only creating what? Tables. Okay, how many times you create tables only? One time. You don't create tables again and again, right? Okay, so migrations and migrate is done how many times? Only one time. Processing is done how many times? Only one time. Migration is done how many times? Only one time. I said no, like simple example is you want to migrate to US. First word processing. Processing is nothing but migrations. You have to fill all the documents, your details, all the things are called which one? Migration details. Once those migration details are valid, then confirmation given by country, right? Once it is done, then what do you do it? Migrate. From this country, you will go to that country. Now, from here, application, in application, whatever model is there, for that model, it will create what? Table. So when you do what? Migrate. So which one is migrated? Model is migrated. Now you are become which citizen? US citizen. Now this model is become what? Table. In database, it is what? Table. In your project, it is what? Model. In India, you are Indian citizen. Once you migrate, your citizenship is changed. You are whose citizen? US. Now this is model. You migrate to what? Database. Change it to what? Table. But how many times you create that? Only one time. You don't do all the times. Migration is done only one time. But whenever you do changes, compulsory, you have to do what? Migrations. Okay, right? Yes. Now, once this is done, then how can I perform? operations like inserting, updating, deleting. How can I do all these operations? How can I do all these operations? Right? So these are called which operations here? Crude operations. These are called which operations? Crude operations, right? So first we'll see, yeah, up to this you understood what is say here? Okay, clear? You understood difference between migrations and migrate? हाँ फिर बाद में नहीं बोलना कि अरे माइग्रेशंस क्या है, माइग्रेट क्या है बोल के नहीं बोलना. हाँ, no, no, not default password. Arpita is working, okay, right? No, then there's a problem. Okay, let's check your path settings and all the things might be. Okay, then how can you perform? So how can you perform? Now create a project. Now first we have done this. I copy this, creating a project. Then once you create a project, next is create application within project. So how you create application, just open the project. So create the application within the project. Okay. Don't create somewhere. Then third one is what do you do? It create model inside models.py. So open models.py and create a model. So create a model. And fourth one is database configuration in settings.py. So which database you are using, that details you define in settings.py. So this is in settings.py. Then fifth one is install application. You have to install the application in settings.py. Okay, installed application. Where you are installing application, this application is installed where? In the server. Until unless you don't define in installed apps, your application is not installed in what? Server. Who will serve your application to the client server? Then you have to install your application into what? Server. But which application you want to install? Just defined in what? Installed apps. Okay. Then after that, what is the sixth step is? Okay, make migrations. So, but before that, you have to see that your databases exist. Database must be exist. Okay, which database should be exist? Are which database are using? Database 10. Database 10. What is your database name? Database 10. You have to create this database 10 in the MySQL. If that database is not there, it will not create. Then migrate it. After migrations, migrate. That's all. Over. The 7 steps. Okay, that's all. Your table get created in the backend. Once a table is created, sorry, you can see that describe the structure of this table. Your table is created with roll number, name, course, and one more is a piece. Okay, so check this in the backend. That's all. Then how to insert data? Okay, how to insert, how to update. how to delete operations on the data, how to read, because you are not doing these operations using SQL commands. You are doing it with the help of model, ORM, means object relational mapping. So what will happen here it is as simple as like this here. Array. It is as simple as like this. So paint. Okay. Now this is, so this is your program. I mean, this is your model, right? Anything you can take here. So assume that this is the model. Okay, you created a model here. Okay, this is a model. So this is your Python program. But once you say migrate, what will happen once you say migrate? When you say Python manage.py, when you say Python manage.py, migrate. So when you write here migrate, so when I say here migrate, it will migrate this model into database. Means in the database, what will happen? This is your database. And what is your database is? Database 10. In the database 10, it will create a table. And what is the name of the table it will create? Application 1, application 1 underscore student. Now this table is created with some columns. You have a columns here. What are the columns here? Roll number, okay, and there is a name, because your model is having how many fields? Four fields. And next one is a course, and next one is a piece. Okay. Now this will create table when you say what here? Migrate. It means you are mapping it. What you are mapping it? You are mapping. What you are mapping it? Class with what? Database. This model you are mapping with what? Database. Getting or not? Okay, mapping how it is done by using migrations. Then whenever you want to communicate with this table, how you communicate with this table using which class? Model class. Okay, so this table in Python is what? Model. In the database, it is what? Table. That's all. Then the model provides some methods to perform CRUD operations. So this is for your understanding here. Once you say model, okay. But before that, you have to do migrations. Then how to insert data? Inserting data. Inserting data into database table. So there are different ways of inserting data into a database table. So model provides okay various methods to insert data into database table. Okay, one is creating which instance? Model instance. Creating which one? Model instance. Instance is nothing but creating which object? Model object. And second one is using create a method. Using which method? Create a method of model. Okay, create a method of model manager. Create a method of what? Model manager. So how many approaches are there? Two approaches. One is directly creating which object? Model instance object. And second one is using create method of what? Model manager. I'll tell you what is model manager. Don't worry. So first we'll see inserting data using or by creating model instance. Model instance, or what is that? Object. So model is a class and model instance is what here? Object. It's nothing but a row. So whenever you create an object of a model class, creating object of model class is nothing but creating one row, and where you store the data and save that data to the table, right? So what you have to do now, just to see here, I'm not writing any application. I'll try to do this in interactive mode. I'll try to do this in which mode? Interactive mode. I'm not writing any program. I'm explaining in which mode? Interactive mode. Interactive mode means working with what? In interactive mode, you work with what? In interactive mode, you work with what? How many modes are there to work with the Python? How many modes? Two modes. Interactive mode, programming mode. Interactive mode, programming mode or scripting mode. Huh? You open ideally. If you open ideally, Python Katham. Huh? Katham. So open ideally. This is what? You have a prompt or not? Yes. This is called which mode? Interactive mode. In interactive mode, you are working with the shell. You are working with which one? Shell. Which shell? Python shell. Not ideal shell. Python shell. So it is a single line command line what? Interface. Means you are trying to test, you are trying to learn, or you are trying to test some commands by working in which mode? Interactive mode. In interactive mode, can you write a programs? No. In interactive mode, you cannot write what? Programs. If you want to write a program, go to file and select what? New file. And here you write a program. And after writing a program, what do you do it? Save it. This is called as which mode? Programming mode. Getting on not? But I want to tell you the commands. Okay, which command is for what? Which method is for what? So later we'll include in the program. Okay. So in that case, I'll be working on which mode? Interactive mode. Interactive mode is nothing but working with which shell? Python shell. In the same way, here also, in Django also, I want to work in which mode? Interactive mode. Then I require a shell or not? Yes. Which shell? Django shell. I required which shell? Django shell. Right? Then how can I get the Django shell? Python manage.py, Python manage.py shell. You are invoking which one? Shell. Which shell? Django shell, not Python shell. Okay, Django shell is used to communicate with your application. It is used to communicate with what? Your application. Which application? Django application from the command line, right? So just write Python manage.py shell. When you say this, now it is open the shell here, interactive console. Now you can see 13 objects imported automatically. 13 objects are imported automatically means how many modules are imported? 13 modules are imported automatically of your application. From your application, some modules are imported automatically, right? Yes. Now this is called as which mode? Array, this is called which mode? Interactive mode. Which shell? Django shell. How to open? How to open Django shell? Okay. So how to work with Django shell? So you can work with the Django application also in how many modes? Two modes. One is interactive mode and one more is program. But here we are not writing any program. So what do you do it? In terminal, just write Python -.py. What is the command is shell. That's all. Okay. So the next is what you have to do is you have to import from application one dot models. Import. What is your model is? Student. Application one dot model import which one? student model, because you want to insert data into which table? Student table. For inserting data into student table, you are using which model? Student model. Okay. Now, how you insert? By creating object. How you create object? Or how you create object? Using class. How you create object? Using class. Create object student one. Student one equal to what? Student. You are creating object of which class? Student class. And student is having how many fields? Four fields: roll number, name, course, and fees. Now by default, it write a constructor. By default, it write a constructor with how many fields? Four. Variable length arguments. Now you define that by sending values. Roll number equal to 1, name equal to, I write here Naresh. Now I'm creating object with what? Values. I'm creating object with what? Values. Creating object is nothing but creating a row. Creating object is nothing but creating a row. And then course. Course equal to, I'm writing here course equal to, what is the course is? I just write here as a Python, and fees equal to some 3000. Now here I created object of which class? Student class. Okay, then press enter. Now object is created or not? Yes. See in the backend. Go to the backend. Go to the backend and see, is it record is created or not. Select star from, tell me, application one underscore what? Student. But is it inserted or not inserted? Not inserted. But record is created or not? Yes. But you have to commit it. Until unless you don't say commit. Commit is nothing but saving changes. But how you do saving changes? By saying student one dot. What is the method is? Save. What is student one? Object. Student one is what? Object. Of which class? Student class. Is the same method is there in student? Are you right? Same method in student? देखो यार सेम मेथड है यहाँ पे नहीं है. It is inherited from which class? Model class. You are invoking the same method of which class? Model class. That will save or commit changes to what? Database table. Until unless you don't say save, the changes will not done in the database table. I said student one dot save. Now go to the backend. Now you say select star from application one underscore student. Now one row is inserted or not? Yes. But are you use insert command or model? Model. You are not using any SQL statements. You are communicating with the database using which one? Models. And every model is what? Class. Means you are communicating with the database using class assigned objects. Now create another student by saying student 2 equal to student with the roll number. Roll number 2 name. Like this, you can install, you can insert either one student or more than one student. Okay. Now assume that this is a fees created and student 2 dot. What is the method is? Save. Okay. Now you can see in the back end how many rows are inserted? Two rows. Understood? Okay, this is the first approach. What is the first approach is? By creating which instance? Model instance. I create another student saying student 3 equal to student. Student 3 is equal to student. I define the roll number 3 and name is given. Name is given, but I'm not given the course and what? Fees. I'm not given the course and what? Fees. Okay. But what will happen if I write like this? And student 3 dot, I said here what? Save. Now immediately it is given what? Error. Saying that, okay, column fee cannot be null. Column course cannot be null. Cannot be null. Okay, if you want null, then there you have to define the default value as what? Null. Okay, if you don't define the default value, then by default, every column is what? Every column is what? Not null. Every column is a not null. Right? Compulsory. You have to give the values. Okay? Yes. Now this is the first approach. So where you have to give all the fields. What you have done from application one dot models, import which model? Student model. Created how many instances? Two instances. That is student one and one more is a student two. Now same method of model instance or model, save changes or commit changes to database table. Until unless you don't say save, until unless you don't say save, the changes will not done on what? Database table. Okay. Now this is a first approach for creating a instance. Then second approach is you can also insert the data by using a create method of what? Model manager. Create method of model manager. So every model is provided one model manager. What is the use of model manager? Model manager is used to perform the operations on what? Model. Model manager is object. Model manager is what? Object that provide some set of methods to perform the operations on what? Model. To perform the operations on model, those methods are provided by one object. And what is that object is? Model manager. Where is this model manager is there in model? This model manager is there in what? Model, right? So what is the name of that model manager is? Objects. What is the name of that model manager? Objects. And it is a class level variable. Class level variable means it is accessed with what name? Class name. And your class is nothing but what is your class is? Model class. Model class dot model manager dot you access all the methods. So what is model manager? First you should know what is a model manager. They ask all these questions. These are interview questions, right? Model manager, model, how many ways can you create, insert data, all these are frequently asked questions. And you have to know this. So what is model manager? Model manager is object provided by model. Okay. Model manager, model manager is an object provided by, is an object provided by what? Model. And this model manager provides methods to perform operations on which one? Model. It is a class level object. Model manager is which object? Class level object. It is a class level object, and it is accessed with what name? Class name. It is accessed with what name? Class name. So what is the name of that model manager? Syntax is you are writing like this: model name is what? Class name, right? Class name dot what is the object name is? Objects. What is the name here? Objects. What is objects is? Model manager. What is the name of the model manager? Objects. What is the name of the model manager? Objects. Okay. And these objects dot is for what? Member access. From model class you are accessing which one? Model manager. What is model manager is? Objects. Okay. And that objects is having some methods. That objects is having what? Methods. And these are the methods which are used to perform the operations on which one? Model. And there is one method you can customize this model manager. I'll tell you how to customize this model manager, right? What you are writing? Model name dot objects dot what is the name? Method name. What is the method name is? Create. What is the method name is? Create. Okay. So model manager provide one method called create. Model name dot objects dot what is the method name is? Create. Now by using this create, you can create only one row. And create method create object and save. You don't require to say what? Save. You don't require to say what? Save. Now create required some inputs. Means you are creating a record, right? You are creating a row, you are inserting a row, then you required what names? Or what names? Field names. Field name equal to what? Value. Field name equal to value. Like this, you try to define what? Fields. Model name dot objects dot create. So create method of model manager, create method of, create method of, create method of model manager. Okay, create model instance, create model instance and commit changes, commit changes to which one? Database table. Means you don't require to say save. But in the first approach, you have to create model instance and then you have to say what? Save. But it doesn't return anything. This create method doesn't return what? Anything. Create. It just create a model instance. That's all. Okay, let me show you practically this. Open this. Again, shell. Django shell. This errors you understood why errors? Why errors? Why these errors? Because we have given how many columns? Two fields, roll number and name. Are given values of course and fees? No, because course and fees are what? Not null. Means values are required or not required? Required. So required means compulsory. You have to give the values. Because of that, you get so many errors. Now see here. I'll try to say, suppose, assume that I'm writing here student some 3, student 3 equal to student dot, tell me, what is student? Model. Next what? Model manager. What is the name of the model manager? Uh, Objects. What is the name of the model manager? Objects. Dot. What is the method? Create. Model dot model manager dot create. You are creating it by giving roll number. You are giving roll number. You are giving what? Name. And you are giving the course. And you are trying to define what? Piece. Create. Now press enter. Now created. But are you said any save or something? No. You just go to the back end and see a select star from. Now you can see 3 and student name course and next one is what? Piece. Getting or not? Okay. So this is how you are trying to do it. This is what you are trying to do it. Now, if I say print, print student 3, what is the student 3 is? Model object. This is which object? Model object. If I say print, if I say print type of which one? Student 3. Student 3 is of which type? Student type. So this is also creating which object? Model instance object. It is also creating which object? Model instance object. Means it will create an object. And what is the name of this object is? Student 3. What it is having? Roll number. What it is having? Name. What it is having? Course. What it is having? Face. What is the roll number is? 3. Name is Kishore, right? And course is C++ and fees is some thousand. Can I get this data? Can I get this data? What is a student 3? Model object. And this object is having how many values? 3, 4 values. How can you access a student 1? Student 3 dot roll number. Student 3 dot name. Student 3 dot course. Student 3 dot fees. Dot is for which access? Dot is used for accessing what? Members. Accessing what? Members. Now I'm saying here print print what? Student 3 dot student 3 dot what is this? Roll number. Student 3 dot name. Student 3 dot course. Student 3 dot what is this? Fee. Now is it get all the values or not? Yes. After creating, it returns which object? Model instance object. And that object contains the data what inserted in what? Database table. Okay, you can use the method called which one? Create. So how many approaches are there? Tell me here, how many approaches? Two approaches. One is, what is the first one? What is the first one? Creating model instance. What is the second one? Create a method. In creating model instance, first you have to create model instance and then you have to save it. Okay, you have to save it. But when it comes to the model manager, what is the name of the model manager? Objects. What is the name of the model manager? Objects. And this model manager is provided one method. What is the name of the method? Create. And this will create a model instance and save that model into what? Database table. And return which object? Model instance object. Right? Yes. This is how you are trying to create. Customization, I'll tell you later. Okay? But up to this clear? Clear or not? Yes. Then see here. See, just see. Now this is a template HTML, right? Registering user. I want to register the user. I want to register the user. How you register the user? With name, username, then what? Password. Tell me, this is front end or back end? Huh? Front end. This is what here? Front end. Once you click on register, this data is given to what? Back end. Back end means, backend is what? View. It is given to the view. What view is doing? Reading this data and inserting this data into what? Database. Suppose in the database there is one table. What is the table is? Users. Then what view write? In view what you write? How you insert? Or how you insert this data into this table? Tell me. Model name. Assume that model name is what? User dot objects dot user dot objects dot create. Objects dot create. You are inserting what? Username, name, username, and password. Yes, is nothing but registration or not? Yes. You want to register student. You want to register what now? Student. Front end is required. You require a front end UI. You require a UI or not? Yes, that is template or HTML. Now this is a form. This is a form where I input what? Roll number. Next is name. Next is course. Next is fees. You enter these details and then click on what? Create. Create. Once you click on create, then this request is sent to view. Then view must insert these details into where? Database. Must insert these details into what? Database. What view is using? Model. How it is communicating with the database? Using model. What is the model name is? Student dot student dot objects dot create. Objects dot create. With this data or not? Yes. This data get inserted into what? Database. Understood? Right? So we'll write this application. Don't worry. Okay. See here. I'm creating one. You understood up to this? Below here. Then see here. Practically we'll implement it. Now what do you do it? Create one. What do you create? Templates. Which folder? Templates folder. Create. Template. What is template is? Student add template. Student add dot add template dot HTML. Okay, right? Now form action. When action is executed, when action is executed, when you click on submit button, when you click on submit, You are submitting this form to whom? Are you are submitting the form to whom? Program, right? Which program? Server side program. Okay. Then what is the name of that program is add view, or I'll say add student view. What is the name of this is add underscore or add stud view. Okay. This URL. This is what? URL. Okay. Now create. What do you create? Table. Story is same. Okay, right? So if you want, you can define the width. You know CSS. I'll tell you how to use a CSS. Don't worry. Now table row, hmm, table column. What is the inputs? Roll number. So input type is what? Text name is. I give the parameter name. What is the parameter name? Roll number, right? Then next table row. Hmm, tell me. Student. Student what? Name. So input type. What is this? Text. Now variable name is this RD. Web development means, okay, don't think that writing a 3 lines of code. Huh? You have to write lot of code. Now student course. What is it here? Student course. Then input type. Input type is a text and name equal to what here? Course. Okay, table data and student fees. Okay, then input type equal to text and name is P. Then again, so input type is what? Submit. Value is create. As is creating a student. Okay, right? Table data. So input type is reset. That is to clear. You can give value equal to what here? Clear. Okay, right? Now we created a form. And once you click on this form, the request is come from which come to which view? Add student view. Now go to views. Same project. Go to views. Now here I am writing a view. What is the name of the view? Any name you can give because that is URL, right? Okay. Add student view. Okay. Now this will take what? A request. It will take the request and we should read the data or not. Yes. Roll number equal to request dot which method? Post method. Now request method is what here? Post. Method is what now? Post. If the request method is a post, you have to generate one token. What is that token is? CSRF token. You have to generate one token and that is CSRF token. Go to the views, request dot post dot get. What is the name of the parameter? Roll number. Name equal to request dot, what is this? Post dot get name. What values you are submitting? Roll number, name, course. You are reading all this. You are reading all this data. Next one is what? Course. Request dot post dot get. What you are getting? Course. Fees. Request dot post dot get. Okay. Fee. Fee of fees. Fee. Now see the field names. Okay. The next one is you have to insert. Uh, then import the model from application one dot models. What is the model name is? Student. Then how you insert? By creating which object? Model object. Uh, you'll use create or create model object. Create. We'll use what? Create. Create will use stud equal to student dot. Tell me. Student dot objects dot. What is objects? What is objects is called? Model manager. What is the method? Create. देखो model manager कितना methods है देखो. If you press dots here, how many methods are there in model managers here? All these are the methods of model manager. So model manager is used to perform the operation on what? Model. Performing operations on model is nothing but performing operations on table. Table. Then what do you write? Create. Create with roll number equal to integer. Integer of roll number. Comma. Next is what? Name. Name equal to name. And course equal to course. And fees equal to what? Float of. Float of which one? P. Just see the, yeah, right? Create. After creating, you have to generate the output or not? Yes, saying that student is created. Student is what? Created. Then for that, I'm using from, what? Django dot HTTP import, HTTP response. And here I'm saying, what is that? Response equal to HTTP response. And I'm just giving a message. Student is created. Student is created and return response. Then we have to display this template or not? Yes. Which template you have to display? Add student template. Add student template, you have to display it. For that, I'm writing another view. Now here I'm writing a response. Response equal to what? Render. Request comma, what is the template name? STUD, student what? Add underscore template dot HTML. Return response. Okay, right? Now this view is rendering. This view is rendering which template? Student add template dot HTML as a part of HTTP response. Okay. Now you have to define how many URLs? How many URLs here? Two URLs. Okay. Go to URLs dot py. From application one dot views, import. What is a view? Add a template view, add a student view. So first one is empty. Which view? Add a student view. If I don't give anything, I'll get the template. This add a student view is rendering what? Template. What is that? No, no. Add stud. What is the name of this is? Add a student template. Okay, this will give a template. This will render what? Template. Okay. If I don't give any path, then it will send a request to which template, which view? Add a student template. That will render which template? Add a student template and send as a part of response. Okay. Then comma. Next one is path. What is the URL I've given here? Same. What is the name of this? Add stud view. Same thing I have to give. You are sending a request to what? Add stud view slash comma add student view. Whenever I call add student view, it is calling which one? Add student underscore view. This is URL and this is view. Always they call the view with what name? URL. And this is called with any URL. Huh? No, it is empty. If I don't give any URL, then it will send a request to which view? Add student template. It will send a request to which view? add a student template, and this will render which template? Student add template dot HTML and send as a part of response. Names your wish here. Okay. आप कुछ भी नाम दे सकते हैं. Okay. Right. Now come out of this shell. How to close the shell? Over, you have to define the template path. Go to this template path. Backend templates base directly slash templates. That's all. Exit from the shell or you create another terminal. No problem. I exit from the shell. Okay. Exit. Same. Exit. If I type exit, it will exit from the shell. Okay. Then after this, Python manage dot py run server. Okay. Then you can see here, are given any path is given or not given? Not given. If path is not given, directly it is opened, which is send a request to which view? Add a template view. Add a template view. Now here you input roll number. So roll number is unique, right? So roll number is 4 and enter the name of the student. Student name, enter the student course, enter the student fees. Click on this. What? Create. Student is created. How you check this? Go to the back end. One student is created or not? Yes. Okay, now this is what? Front end or not? Yes. Now enter the roll number. I said back name of the student, course of the student, and fees of the student, and then click on what? Create. One more student is created. You can see here. Created or not? Yes. This is very important because every application required registration is nothing but creating. You register employee. One person join in the company. They register employee or not? Yes. Registering employee is nothing but storing your details into backend. Backend is nothing but in this case database. Database table. But how you are inserting it? How you are inserting data into the database table? Arre bolo yaar, how many ways are there? Two ways are there. What is the first one is creating which instance? Model instance. Create a model instance and save it. Create a model instance and save it. And second method is create. Model manager, which method? Create. So create, that will create and save. You don't require to save what? Save. Understood? Right. Then next we'll see how to read data. Online students, online, online students, submit. So I develop view here. So clear, right? Okay. I'm copying all the things. This is urls.py. First you practice in shell. Okay, don't write directly project. First practice in shell. This is in settings.py. So already this is done. But even though I'm writing again, install apps. Next is template path. And next is do how many things? Three things here. Then after that, create which one? Template. What is your template is? Student add, stud add, stud, student add underscore template dot html. This is a template. Okay. And this is your model. Even I'm copying again model. If not, you just check here models.py. Then this is a project structure. Even I'm copying the project structure. See the project structure like this. Okay, right now this is your project structure. Okay, I copied the project structure also. Okay, then next is how to read the data. Okay, we inserted data, right? Copied all the code, right? You understood this code? View. Arre, bolo yaar, view you understood, You submitted what? Form. By using which method? Post method. Then where the data is stored in? Post. Is it dictionary or not? Yes. Is there in which object? Request object. How can you get the data from dictionary using? Get. And we read the data submitted by the client, and that data we are storing into the table. How you are communicating using model. Model is provided what? Model manager. Model manager is provided which method? Create. Understood? Right. Then how to read data? Reading data from database table. Reading data from database table. So for reading data from database table, model manager is provided various methods. Okay, now you work with only one table, but in coming classes, you'll be working with multiple tables because your project contain one table or more than. You don't store all the data into one table, right? Student data you store in student table. Lecturer data is in lecturer table. Okay. Courses details in courses table. But you generate a relationship all with all these tables or not? Yes. And we'll also talk about relationships. One to one, one to many to many, and many to one. This relationships how you create with the models. Model relationships also will discuss, and how to get the data from multiple models without using which methods? Joins. Generally in SQL, what do you use? Join. Yes or no? To get the data from multiple tables. But here how you don't use any joins. Okay, because you are not using SQL statements. Then it is done using which methods? Model manager methods. So reading data from database table. Okay, so model manager provides various methods to read data from what is that database table. Okay, the first one is model manager is provided one method called get. Okay, get method. What is the first method is get, and second one is all. Third one is filter. How many methods are there? Three methods are there. Okay. What is the first method is get. Second is all. Third one is filter. Okay. All. Select star from. Select star from. See, for every method, it generate one is equivalent SQL statement because your database cannot understand get all filter. Database understand only one language. Database understand only one language. Which language? SQL. Every method is converted into what? Equivalent SQL. That is done by whom? That is done by whom? ORM engine. That is done by whom? ORM engine. Right? So database cannot understand classes and objects. Database cannot understand methods. Database understand only one language called SQL. So whenever you are invoking any method, it will convert every method into an equivalent which statement? SQL statement. Understood? Right? So we'll discuss these methods like get, all, and filter. What is the difference between all these methods? Not today, but we'll discuss tomorrow. Please practice this, and tomorrow we'll see more methods related with the models, right? Thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Right. Thank you here. We'll see tomorrow. Right. Tachara, no problem. You have not missed anything. Right. Start in. Start. Start.